so update. We're a week behind because, long story short, we had to pay a couple grand in repairs. We had to cancel a couple stops, but we're still going to get sparring in at the Mayweather gym. So we're going to be sparring with the guy who is known for knocking people out. So, oh man, I got those pre-fight jitters. I got the butterflies going, and I feel young again. I feel so good. I'm so excited. Well, damn. We just learned the hard way not to leave things on the countertop when we're driving.
I didn't even jump high and I had to jump, I like a head start.
Action packed. Ricardo throws a jab, and Evan, I just want you to work on your parry. So on the same side like we were doing yesterday. Boom. So after that third one, then we switch roles. So right away I went that quick reaction too. So it's going to be like in a fight. If Ricardo throws a jab, I want it to go. When he throws that third one, boom, and I come right back. So you're working your quick counter, he's working his quick defense right after punch. Alright, a little strength and conditioning. Yeah, man, that's probably the number one thing I'm gonna miss is working with my fighters. You know, because we're gonna be on the road for 6 weeks. I do have like a sense of guilt knowing I'm gonna be leaving the guys behind, but my wife and I have been planning this trip for a long time. Long time. We're excited. We've still got a lot of work to do.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Who is Shane Fazen?
Who's Shane Fazen? Shane Fazen? That's a silly question. I am a martial artist.
I was kind of joking, but alright.
I don't like that question.
So how long have you been working on fightTIPS?
Alright, so it's 2 days before my fight, Wednesday. I just got done a workout. I worked a heavy bag, speed bag, did some shadow boxing. This morning my weight was good though. I was at 132 right on the dot. Training's been going good, I feel ready. Sparred yesterday, that's what this is from. But yeah, I'm gonna cut this off here, record a little bit tomorrow, let you know how I feel. And fight night's Friday.
I started working on fightTIPS when I was 13. I remember buying a digital camera, worked at a deli for a week so that I could afford one. And then I started recording videos in the backyard with my friends, wrestling and boxing and teaching some of the Taekwondo skills that I had learned. Yeah, it just kind of evolved from there. We trained at gyms and we shared some of our lessons and experiences. What's up guys, got a fighttips.com instructional here. This one's going to be the 10 best fight tips to do in a street fight. Over the years I competed and trained in different states and different countries, and just the whole time just kept documenting, kept sharing with people, and it's grown into what it is today, which is a thriving business.
So I met Shane in first grade. We went to the same grade school. So we just kind of like knew each other and had like similar friend groups probably through all of grade school. And then once we were in like 7th, 8th grade, Shane moved away, but we stayed in touch on AIM. So I guess like the internet was always part of our our friendship. And then once we were in our 20s, we kind of like reconnected after high school and in college. And that's when we started dating. And the rest is history, as they say. I didn't know how to finish that.
When I first started fightTIPS, I didn't know what it was going to turn into. I was just, filming backyard boxing videos with my friends. But local people started finding it, and when we started uploading to YouTube in like 2005, that's when people from all over the world started finding it. And they were commenting, saying how I helped them fight depression or beat their bully or get in shape. And that's when I realized the power and reach that we had. So we stuck with it. We kept uploading videos to YouTube. The channel continued to grow, and it was probably in about 6 or 7 years ago that my wife and I decided that this is what we wanted to do. She quit her job. I quit one of my jobs, and then we started just full-time on fightTIPS. Once it started taking off and making some money, then I quit my other job. We packed up the car and we drove to California, and then the rest was history.
I started working with Shane on fightTIPS maybe 6-7 years ago. And at first it was just kind of like helping set up the camera or holding the camera, because before that Shane would just like put it on a tripod, he'd film in his backyard. So I kind of stepped in and tried to just like help increase the production. So I was studying marketing when I first started helping with fightTIPS, and so like branding was just like on the forefront of my mind. So I helped Shane build our logo, come up with branding and colors, and eventually everything that kind of you see in the gym now. And I take care of a lot of like the administrative stuff. So I talk with brands and partners, and we form collaborations, and I just pretty much help with anything that fightTIPS needs to be successful.
I'm really excited to get on the road and travel to other gyms because I'm excited to be a student again. I train here in Los Angeles. You know, I spar, I go to classes, I still train with other people, but I'm really excited to just learn as much as possible and hands-on, not just online. So I'm excited to go to other gyms, to train under different styles and different coaches, ask questions, and just learn. And I know I enjoy being on the road. We've done a cross-country road trip 3 times now, and I'm excited to just get back out there and see the different sites and eat the different foods, but most of all to just train the different styles of martial arts. I remember first hearing about tiny homes, and I thought that was cool, mostly because it was affordable and I wanted to get my own place. So I was probably like, I don't know, 18 or 19 when I first heard about having a trailer, pulling a mobile home behind you. But I didn't think I actually wanted to do that. But then my wife was like, yo, check this out. It's not an RV, it's not quite an RV, but we can convert a van into a mobile home. It's going to be small, but it has pretty much everything that an RV has. And my first question was, does it have a toilet?
I probably first heard about mobile homes on Instagram. So from what I can remember, I just started following different accounts on Instagram that were living in vans, and I don't even know how I found them. Like maybe it was a hashtag, or maybe I started following someone for a different reason, but eventually I just was following like 10, 20 van accounts. I guess as I started following more accounts, I just started to notice and get really obsessed with how people had these like beautiful living spaces that looked like they were in a home, and then they were taking them to like lakes and mountains and deserts and camping, but then they could also go into the cities, and people were going everywhere in these like little homes, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. The van is a 2013 Mercedes-Benz Sprinter. It is 144-inch wheelbase. That is actually about 60 square feet of living space. It's about 10 feet high, because we have a high roof, and about 6 feet wide. Right in your eyes. Go get the goggles.
You don't need them.
You're gonna get dust right in your eyeballs.
One of the things that we were thinking about before we even started building the van was, did we want to put in windows and letting in natural light? And I kind of wish we had, but in the back of my mind, what was most important is security and safety, and I didn't want people to be able to peek in or break in any easier. I like having that big piece of metal, and I feel safe in there. And we could always just bring in artificial light, or whenever we park, we can open up the doors and let light in.
That's what I liked about van camper, like a camper van versus a mobile home, is you can park it anywhere and there's no like speed restrictions. So if you're pulling a trailer on a truck, or if you're in like an RV that you're driving, usually you have to drive under 55 miles per hour on the highway, and then you have to park it in certain places because you're obviously a recreational vehicle. Whereas the van, it's compact, it fits in a normal parking spot. You can go, the regular speed limit, and it's kind of like stealthy. So like you can camp out, you can park in a city, you can park pretty much anywhere legally. and no one knows that there's people inside. When I first started to actually think this could be for me, that this is something that I want to do in my life, like travel in a van, I was 100% set on just buying a professionally converted van that is new and done by someone else, because I could never build anything like that. But people sell them for like $40,000 to $60,000+ depending on everything that's included or what year the van is. And then right away I wanted to get a loan, so like I worked really hard on getting a business loan, because I was like, this is what we're gonna do to grow our business and go on the road. And like that just kept falling through. And then I started looking at used vans that were just completely empty cargo vans, and was kind of talking to someone being like, okay, well, if I buy this empty van, will you build it out? And then we bought a van, which felt like it happened overnight, but also just took forever to research and buy, but it was a good price for the van. So we got the van, and the plan was to give it to someone else to build. And then even that like got super expensive, and I realized, you know, now you're on someone else's schedule, and if I want something done in a week, it really depends on this other person's lifestyle and materials. It just kept evolving, where I was like, okay, Shane, you and I will do the installation and then we'll hand it off to someone. And then I was like, all right, well, no, let's just add the floors and then we'll hand it off to someone. And then eventually we just decided to do it ourselves. And it took a lot of Googling and YouTube videos, and we just learned along the way. That was like more than half of the process.
All right, guys, let's give you a tour of Jackie Van. Jackie Chan the Van, that's what we decided to name it.
So
yeah.
We're not done yet, but you'll see almost everything's done, like all the big stuff. Mostly, like, obviously we have to finish the ceiling, but pretty much everything else is installed.
Yeah, so we insulated, and then we put the shiplap walls, which we painted. From there, I think we built this, and this is actually the toilet here, so this does as a bench, and then slides off.
Which we built this bench ourselves, and we painted it. And we have a compost toilet, so it's no flush. It separates liquids and solids.
Marie has really bad gas.
You're one to talk.
Marie and I have been close for a long time. We actually met in first grade. And we've been friends for a very long time, and we've lived in a studio apartment, so we're used to being in close spaces. Our first apartment together, we actually had like a very thin door that blocked the bathroom, which was right next to the bedroom. So now that we're gonna be, you know, within 4 feet of each other when we're using the bathroom, I'm not worried about it. I think we're close enough that we don't really need privacy.
So you can pretty much just get like a small porta potty where it all just goes in one hole, and there's like chemicals that you put in to like keep the smell from being disgusting. And then there's compost toilets, which separates liquids and solids, and the solids go into like soil pretty much. So like your poop just goes into the soil and you mix it up. There is a fan that sends the like moisture and smell out of the bottom of the van, but then other than that, there's really no scent. You just need to kind of make sure you're emptying it and keeping it clean and separate. This is our sink system and trash cans right here. So that's our 5-gallon water tank. We used about half of it, and that would have been in like 2.5 days, which makes sense for 2 people. The gray water tank. This will also store trash, cleaning stuff.
Can we do the honors?
Sure. And so it's a manual pump sink. It works as you press down and up, both directions. Shane and I want to really disconnect a lot, and also to use this as a way to like minimize our waste and use. So for me, I actually didn't want a sink pump because I knew that I would end up running through so much water, and when you're on the road, like you only have maybe like 5 gallons of fresh water. So if you use that up, like you need to go fill it up or buy it or something. So I didn't want to be wasteful. So I was like, all right, we have a manual pump, so we have to like lift it up and down. This way we're more in control of how much water we're using. And we just use one of those 5-gallon water tanks that you see like at a water cooler. So like this way when we run out, which we'll probably run out like every 3 days, 5 gallons between the two of us and Sally, we can just like go to a Walmart or a Lowe's or whatever, switch out the water. And then the second part is storage. We have cabinets where we'll store our clothes and toiletries and food and appliances, things like that. Our countertop, which is probably my favorite part, even though it's so simple. And we are building cabinets that'll go overhead, so that'll be more storage for food, random shit.
Boxing gloves.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. The benches.
The benches. We chose to use IKEA cabinets because, like we both have said, we're not very handy. So while we did choose to build our own bed and bench system, that's kind of because we didn't have another choice. We really wanted to have separate benches so that we had that space in between for working out, for yoga, and for just like having a living space so that you didn't feel like there was always this huge bed taking up a lot of space. This way, underneath the benches is more storage. We can kind of sit and work or eat and do other things.
The most challenging, or probably like the most intimidating part of building out this van was the bed and the bench system that we did, because we built the casing around the toilet and we ran into some problems there. It wasn't the perfect build, but it gets the job done. But we built the bench and bed system, so it's 2 benches on either side, and then we connect them with 2 pieces of wood in between, which will make it a flat surface so that we can lay on. And it came out almost perfectly. Like the measurements, the way that the storage system works, the hinges, really excited how that came out. And I actually, for a long time, slept on just the floor, like when I was in college, so I'm used to like that firm backing when I'm laying down. So I think it's not gonna be a problem for me. Like spring mattresses, memory foam, I'm excited to just have like a firm, flat surface to sleep on. The one thing that I'm a little worried about is I'm very regimented with working out, and I kind of have like my own system that I do, and it's going to be a little bit different. Like I don't have a heavy bag to hit. That's why I'm excited to go to different gyms, because I'll be able to train and hit the heavy bag and spar and that kind of thing. But I like to work out every day and I have my routine, so I'm a little worried about doing it in the van. But I guess I could just park anywhere and go for a run and shadow box and that kind of thing. But when we built the van, we tried to at least keep an alleyway, like a straight, narrow path, so that Marie could do her yoga, and that's why I could do limited but shadow boxing. I mean a lot of the stuff that I do anyway is slow and controlled, so just being able to, I wanted to just be able to stand somewhere and lift my leg up, throw kicks, throw punches. So it's limited for sure, but I think we'll be able to get the job done.
These are the benches, which we built ourselves and I think we are most proud of. We did it with hinges so that each half of each bench can lift up for storage, and that's actually a ton of storage. So that will be boxing gear, it'll be maybe more adventure stuff for hiking, our clothes, other random miscellaneous belongings. And this also turns into our bed. So as you can tell, there's no cushions yet, but that's another thing that we're working on. We'll have cushions that all come together, and this fits into almost a full-size bed, which, take it away, Sheen.
So we just got some thick plywood here, which fits perfectly into here, and we could keep it, you know, half bench, half bed, or when we're ready to go to sleep, we just slide both of them down.
And so this bed is, for the width of the van, it's about 70 inches, which is shorter than a regular bed, but it's 60 inches wide, so it's somewhere between the width of a full and a queen. And luckily we're short, because...
Yeah, if we were any taller, so I'm like 5'8", and my hairbrush is against the top, and my feet, I probably have like centimeters at the bottom, so if you're a little bit taller, I don't know how you make this work, but people have done it.
Most people, I think, build their bed this way, where you would sleep the length of the van, like so your head would be at the back and forward. But because we have the shorter wheelbase, and we didn't want like a whole lot of extra storage sticking out at the front side of the sliding door, we just decided to keep it compact to the back. And then this way too, we have a little bit more storage for the sink and other belongings. We have a fantastic fan. It has like 12 speeds. It can blow in. It can blow air in or out. And there's also a cover on it, so you can just keep it lifted for some extra air.
Even when it's raining?
Yeah, even when it's raining, then you can close it and you can still get a breeze coming in. The thing about these things being so customizable is you can pretty much add anything to it. Anything that you want in a van that you would get in a normal house, like running water, electricity, it all just comes off of solar energy for the most part. And most people that I've seen permanently install solar panels on top of their van, and then they wire it through the roof into a DIY setup where you have a deep cell battery, I think that's what it's called. You need an inverter, and then you need all these different things. And while I can like use some of these key terms, it's not something, like solar is the one thing that I never felt totally comfortable with because of electrocution. And it just was like heavy and expensive. So we have a generator and we can charge it while we drive through the 12 volt like cigarette lighter. But we could also separately buy solar panels that we could either, you know, when we park, we set it out in the sun and it charges, or later on we could decide to install solar panels on the roof. That energy goes into the van, and that's how some people power electric stoves, refrigerators, running water, sink pump. Some people go as far as to have hot water that's heated. You can have pretty much any of these amenities. So we skipped out on a lot of that actually. So we don't have a stove. We decided to just stick to like sandwiches and salads. We already eat out a lot anyway. We don't have a fridge. We're just going to use a Yeti cooler, which keeps ice solid for like 3 to 5 days.
Whoa, you ain't gonna knock first? Come on in, this is the rest of the house. Here's where we drive.
The seats are actually super comfortable.
Here's shotgun. It's a little messy up here right now. There's a lot of Sully hair all over the place, but there's actually some decent storage up here too. Our radio doesn't work, we need a new radio.
We'll get that.
But
plenty of poop bags for Sully though.
It'll force us to have conversation.
Yeah.
Old-fashioned radio.
Who needs a radio?
Poop bags for Sully. The main reason I think why my wife and I wanted to get a mobile home is because we take our dog everywhere, and he can't fly on planes. Well, he can fly on planes. We have flown him on a plane. We've been to New York with him, Philly. He's been all over the place, but he doesn't like it. He shakes the whole time. So I just wanted something that we can get around with and bring him along with us. So as long as we had the bed, we had running water and food, and like I said, the toilet is most important, but just that we could bring the dog with us.
I think Shane and I get along really well, and like we can read each other pretty well. So like I think there's gonna be times where like we're just gonna be quiet and we're just gonna need to be quiet. So like maybe it's not like this is specifically something Shane does, but sometimes you just need personal space and quiet time to yourself. I'm not as worried about how Shane will be with me in a close proximity. I'm almost like already annoyed by Sully like barking and asking to go out like all the time, because I think he's gonna miss being outside, because at home he just kind of wanders around throughout the day. I know he'll be okay when we're driving, but like when we stop and park, I'm like more worried about Sully.
No, Sully loves traveling. Like I said, Sully's been to New York City, he's been in cabs, he's been in bars, he's been to Philly, Vegas. Sully's been all over the place. He loves traveling. So I think, you know, him out on the road and him in the wilderness, he's gonna thrive.
In total, the van build is probably under $25,000. We bought the van used for about $15,000 plus like taxes and fees. And then I wanna say we spent about $5,000 on materials. The most expensive being the generator, which was about $1,000. The toilet was $1,000. Vinyl floors were kind of expensive because we went for like waterproof, mold resistant. But even just the cost of like plywood and stuff, that added up. But we're probably under $25,000. I think the most challenging part will be that it's a van. So all of the knowledge that we've gained by doing the build, I don't think we're really gonna use much more of that now that it's over. Whereas our knowledge on vans and mechanics is not very good. So I am a little scared about having engine troubles or breaking down tires, like all the other things that we have yet to learn, which I guess we'll appreciate down the line, but it will be stressful.
I think I'm most looking forward to shutting off. Like, we're gonna be documenting this whole thing, we're gonna be sharing it on social media, but I'm really excited to just turn my phone off and be in nature, to go to different campsites and to just for a full 24 hours not deal with anything and just be one with my family, and I feel like I need that. I feel like I've been on social media for a long time, every single day. I mean, that's my job at this point, is responding to people and making sure that I'm answering questions and that I'm sharing the content that we're creating. But I'm very much looking forward to be mindful, to meditate a little bit more, to be off my phone, and just spend more time with my family.
I'm really looking forward to the traveling itself. I really look forward to waking up somewhere new each day, and hopefully somewhere outside of my comfort zone. So not just in a new city, but maybe a whole new type of area, like whether we're in the mountains or in a city or in a random parking lot. And I'm looking forward to simplifying. So my daily routine will change, and I'll have less options of what to wear and what to eat and what to do. And I actually think that'll simplify life a lot.
With this trip, I think there's definitely a selfish side to it, where I'm just looking forward to spending time with my family and exploring martial arts within my own life. But I've been doing it since fightTIPS started, which, like I said, I was 13. I really like sharing what I have learned with other people. So that's what I'm hoping to get out of this trip, is traveling across the nation, meeting really cool people who have really good information to share, and I just want to share it with the people who watch.
My favorite part of fightTIPS is just the community. So I'm really looking forward to making friends and sharing ideas and meeting other creative, hardworking people, whether it's because of the van life community or because of yoga or because of martial arts. I want just growth, like growing our community, growing our followers, and things like that.
All right, so first stop is going to be Vegas, and I'm going to get some sparring in at the Mayweather gym. Which is a little intimidating. It's the Mayweather gym, but I haven't been focusing on strict boxing. You know, I still get my sparring in, but it's a lot of Muay Thai, it's a lot of kickboxing, and the stance is entirely different. So I'm going to work on building up the endurance of my legs so I can sit down on my shots, so I can be agile and keep moving. Shadowboxing to this day is still my favorite workout. You can work your angles, your footwork, your breathing, your mental side, visualization, and to me that still is the most important part of fighting. The double end bag I love too, because it hits you back. You gotta move, you gotta be defensive, you can't just throw 100% power and expect to land your shot, so you gotta be accurate as well. So hopefully I got enough time. I mean, we're hitting the road in just a couple of days, and the first stop is Vegas, so we'll see how we do. Whew. Man, I hope my cardio is good enough. They're gonna feed me to some sharks, I know it. Whew. No, it's all right, just gotta pace myself. Gotta believe in the jab. Gotta keep the head movement. And exit strategy, always have an exit strategy. That's the one thing that I feel like the heavy bag teaches bad habits. People throw 2, 3, 4, 5 punch combinations, and then they just wait, and they catch their breath, and then they throw the next combination. You do that in a fight, you're getting countered. You throw your punches, you gotta move. So I gotta remember that. That's a bad habit that I had back in the day. So I gotta throw my punches and cut an angle. Throw my punches, jab out. Throw punches, clinch up even. I gotta be smart. All right, I think I'm ready to go. What do we got? 3, 4 days? I'll be good. Let's see how it goes. It's official though. We're hitting the road. We're coming. Where's our first stop? At this point, we're just going to see how far we can get before we have to pull over and take a nap.
I'd like to end up in Utah, maybe Colorado, but we're looking at like 12+ hour driving today. And
Let's do it. I'm just happy that we got the van
so if we can
ready
drive
to go.
till 10 midnight,
Yeah, 12 hours.
crash in the back, that's what it's
Easy
for.
peasy. All right, see you guys in a bit. Let's do it. So update, we're a week behind because
I took the car in to get it checked out, just for regular maintenance to get tire pressure and fluids, that kind of thing. Long story short, we had to pay a couple grand in repairs. It was suspension, it was tire rods need to be replaced, filters, the whole shebang. Luckily, we had to cancel a couple stops, but we're still going to get sparring in at the Mayweather gym. Sparring is confirmed, so we're going to be there in about an hour and 15 minutes. I'm going to be sparring with the guy who is known for knocking people out. So, oh man, I got those pre-fight jitters, I got the butterflies going, and I feel young again. I feel so good. I'm so excited. So let's see how it goes. I mean, this is the Mayweather gym, but I mean, I grew up sparring and fighting out of Philadelphia, so I think I'll be able to handle myself. See how it goes.
I survived. Got 2 rounds in with Rolly. Like I said, he's got about 30 pounds on me. I think he went light. I think he took it easy on me, but I appreciate that. He's good, man. His 1-2 was solid. That right hand was finding its home all day. I think I did pretty good. I know, Maria, I know you're happy because I'm not concussed, which means I can continue driving and she doesn't have to. Cool, guys, here with Rolly at the Mayweather gym. This kid is a stud. How old are you now?
I'm 23.
And you're like undefeated, knockouts.
9-0, 8 knockouts,
Yeah,
undefeated, undisputed sparring champion of the world.
That's right, man. Check this kid out. Links will be in the description below for his Instagram. I appreciate you going easy on me, man, too. I thought they'd be carrying out here in a stretcher.
No, I know.
You just posted, you said you were like 170 today?
Nah, I was trolling.
Oh, okay, I was gonna
You
say.
think I'm not stupid to pull my weight like that?
I appreciate it. All right, he's got to get to work. Rolly, thank you, brother. I really appreciate it.
All right, guys, so we made it to Vegas. We got some sparring in. Sully's out playing at the dog park right now. We're gonna get some food, and then we're gonna hit the road again. What's the next stop?
Well, the official destination is Des Moines, Iowa, for the Muay Thai Championship.
Right, the TBA, the Thai Boxing Association Muay Thai
Expo?
Tournament.
We're
Yeah.
hoping to make it for the final day, Sunday. But we'll stop like in Utah, Colorado to sleep tonight.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. If you want to watch us for the rest of our trip, subscribe to fightTIPS, and you'll get some more fighting tips along the way. Until then, I'm Shane.
Hooray.
fightTIPS for the underdogs.